What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. So today we're going to be reacting to a video today titled "The winner of the 2025 Women's Elimination Chamber will be." Shout out to wrestling Wrestle Talk. Shout out to this dope individual. Probably in my personal opinion, one of the most slept on creators in the wrestling space. So shout out to him. But we're going to react to this video, and he's going to break down the women's elimination chamber match and what stories we could be getting potentially with a lot of these wrestlers, and ultimately who he thinks will win the elimination chamber match as well. But comment down below, let me know what you guys are looking forward to for elimination chamber this year, and who do you guys think is going to win the women's elimination chamber. But with that being said, let's get into it right here.
The women's elimination chamber is almost here, but unlike the men's chamber, there doesn't seem to be any obvious contender to win the match and challenge Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. There's a lot of main event talent in the match, but it doesn't look like WWE has set up any major feuds for Rhea Ripley leading into Mania, or so we think. So with that being said, let's break down and predict how the women's elimination chamber match is going to go. What's the order of eliminations gonna be, who's gonna win the match, and what other WrestleMania stories is it gonna set up? I'm Brandon, and this is SHOUTOUT. So at the time of this recording, 5 of the 6 competitors have already qualified for the chamber. Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Naomi, and Bayley. And I think it's safe to assume that Roxanne Perez will be the final entrant in the match.
She is the final entrant. She did qualify on this past Monday episode of Raw, so she's definitely on she is gonna be the final participant in this year's Elimination Chamber match for sure. So it's definitely gonna be something really interesting.
I don't see it being Raquel. So looking at those 6 participants, let's break down how this match is gonna go, based on where all the current storylines are, and also where I think they're gonna go leading into Mania. To start off the match, I think it's gonna be Liv Morgan and Bayley. They're both big stars, and they're probably gonna have a bit of a mini match before the first entrant comes out of their pod. Then I think you're gonna have Naomi coming out 3rd, Roxanne coming out 4th, Bianca coming out 5th, and Alexa Bliss coming out last. It just seems like a no-brainer that we're gonna save her till the end. But once all 6 participants have entered, there are 2 names that I
Also, comment down below, what do you think the order of participants are we gonna get like throughout the match? Or like, who do you think is gonna come in first, second, third, and so on and so forth? Let me know in the comment section down below as well. But I do think I can see the way he constructed the chamber as far as the order in which a wrestler comes in. I can definitely see him going in order and having Liv and Bayley, start off the chamber. I think it's kind of one of those things where it's like, if you look at past chamber matches, you always have like 2 of your bigger stars, or maybe like one that's on the cusp of breaking through, or an established name starting. I think last year, Becky started, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong, but I do think Becky Lynch started last year, so I can see Bayley starting there this year, or maybe even a Bianca. Maybe I could see one of those 2 potentially starting, and I could see Liv being in there as well.
I think immediately cancel each other out. Bayley and Roxanne Perez. The 2 of them have been feuding for a while now, and I just think they're gonna cancel each other out. The 2 of them have been cancel each other out. Bayley and Roxanne Perez. The 2 of them have been feuding. There are 2 names that I think immediately cancel each other out. Bayley and Roxanne Perez.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So, oh yeah, I could see that happening, because I think the ultimate goal between Bayley and Roxanne is they want those 2 to feud going into WrestleMania, and we've been seeing some glimpses of it, but we haven't really seen those 2 go to blows just yet. I mean, we've seen a little bit of it in the Royal Rumble. We've seen a little bit of it in the Fatal 4-Way from this past week's Vengeance Day pay-per-view, or PLA, whatever you want to call it. So we've been getting some teases and glimpses here and there, but I think we're going to get a full blow-off to their feud going into WrestleMania. So I think those 2 are going to be facing each other at WrestleMania. And I feel like it makes sense because we know Bayley is on Raw now, and I think Roxanne is going to be on her way to Raw as well. It seems just safe to say that she's going to be on the Raw brand. So I think these 2 should be facing each other at WrestleMania, and I think it's safe to say that they also will cancel each other out when it comes down to it as well. So I can see it definitely playing out in this type of scenario.
The two of them have been feuding for a while now, and I just think they're going to cancel each other out. It didn't really happen at the Royal Rumble, but I think it's going to happen here. And I actually
Mm-hmm.
think Bayley is going to be the first person eliminated by Roxanne. Once
Ooh,
that happens, I think Naomi
that's a
is
bold one.
next to get eliminated, probably by Alexa Bliss or Liv Morgan. One crazy idea is
Yeah,
that Jade Cargill
that's
enters
the
the
thing.
match just like
When it comes down to Bianca and Naomi, Naomi is not gonna win. I really don't think she's gonna win. In all honesty, and no, that's no disrespect to her. It's just I don't think if you look at the current landscape, it calls for her winning. I feel like Jade Cargill is gonna make her presence felt at Elimination Chamber. I think a lot of people thought it was gonna happen at the Royal Rumble, myself included. A lot of people think it's gonna happen, on a random Raw or SmackDown, and it's not. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I wouldn't be mad at it, but I think you should save that pop or reveal for something bigger than just a Raw or SmackDown. Have that be at Elimination Chamber, and it does come into play with who attacked her, whether it is Naomi or if it is Bianca, or if both were in cahoots. I've seen people even say that maybe um Bianca is the mastermind behind all of this, right? Bianca's the mastermind. She's the one that put out the hit on Jade Cargill to be taken out. And Naomi is the one that actually did it, but both were at foul play here. That is a story I can see happening when it does come down to those three women going into WrestleMania. Maybe, not Bianca, but Jade has to go through both Naomi and Bianca going into WrestleMania this year, and both and having have to feud both of them going into that show as well, where she has a match maybe with Naomi, she maybe beats her, then she sets up her match with Bianca, which is the ultimate goal I think we're trying to get to at WrestleMania. And it's already been confirmed that the WWE already said that Jade Cargill is going to be on her way back. She will still be in the plans. She still will be having a match at a WrestleMania. So I do think it's going to revolve around Bianca and Naomi, in my personal opinion. But y'all let me know in the comments down below with that as well.
like AJ Styles did last year and utterly destroys Naomi, allowing someone else to pin her. I
Mm-hmm.
could see that, but just to be safe, I'm going to say that Jade Cargill does not get involved in this match. I think they're going to save her return for an episode of Raw or SmackDown, but whether it's due to Jade interfering or not, I think Naomi's going to get eliminated next, and then I think Roxanne's going to get pinned by Bianca. When it comes to Bayley, Roxanne, and Naomi, none of them are real contenders to win this match, so it doesn't
No,
really matter how they get eliminated.
they're not really real contenders right now. I'm gonna be honest. Like Bailey, yes, she's an established name. Yes, they have been teasing her and Rhea, but I don't think you should be doing that only because Rhea is a face right now, and whatnot. So you don't want to have a face win this. I feel like it's more safe to say that a heel is going to win, and Roxanne would be something different, but you don't want to run the risk of fast tracking her too fast, and then if it doesn't work out, it causes the fans to be not really in an uproar, but not really in agreement with it. We've seen it happen numerous times where they push somebody too fast and it just didn't work. Numerous examples like Alberto and Roman, like they pushed them too fast and then it backfired, and we cannot run the risk of doing that with Roxanne at this point of her career. She's still relatively very young. She still has a lot to prove. I think she still is going to potentially go down as one of the best. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think her time is just yet. Her time is definitely coming. Do not get me wrong. If I was a betting man, I would say maybe you put the Money in the Bank contract on her. Maybe she becomes Miss Money in the Bank. I think that should be her moment, and then she can cash in for a title then. If how they book it is just how that's a different story. But I don't think it's gonna be Roxanne and Naomi. She's still in the tag team division. She still has this looming story with Jade Cargill over her, so I don't think she needs to win the chamber.
As long as we get to the final three of Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, and Bianca Belair.
Definitely,
These are your three that could possibly.
these definitely are my final three for this year's chamber. Two former Elimination Chamber winners in for fact check, if you guys haven't been paying attention, Alexa won the first women's Elimination Chamber when she was Raw Women's Champion. And then we also have Bianca, who won in 2022. So both Bianca and Alexa are former Chamber winners. And then you have Liv Morgan, who has yet to win it. So it's going to be a very interesting story, like whether they are going to have somebody win their first, chamber after being in pretty much every single one of them, but yet coming up short every single time. Or are they going to give it to a person that already has won an Elimination Chamber match to punch their ticket to WrestleMania?
Win. And honestly, the first name I have to cross out is Bianca Belair. There have been rumors going around that this is the year that WWE finally wants to do Rhea versus Bianca at WrestleMania. And I don't think this is going to happen.
I don't either. And the reason I say that is for the simple fact, there's different reasons, right? One, she is currently tag team champion still, right? And yes, at the time of recording this video, she is going to be defending alongside Naomi next week against Liv Morgan and Raquel. So that might open her up to potentially win. But second, she still has that looming story over who attacked Jade Cargill. And I think if Jade Cargill does make her presence felt, she could be the one that probably attacked Jade Cargill, which I think is most likely compared to Naomi. Or it's either going to be Naomi attacked her, or Jade Cargill was attacked by Bianca, or both. Like I said, Naomi and Bianca were in cahoots to plan this all out. Like, one of them is the mastermind behind all this. Like I said, it was Bianca, and then Naomi is the one who actually did the attack. So I can see both being in cahoots here, and I think we will get that reveal hopefully at the Chamber. And then two, I do think the match is going to be really good between Bianca as potentially being a heel going facing Rhea Ripley. But the thing is, she already has a story right now. Plus, you also have to understand that if we're going to do this match, it's going to feel rushed if we get her winning the Chamber to face Rhea Ripley. I would personally want to see a longer build to this match. Continue to tease this match throughout this year, and then maybe we could set it up at WrestleMania 42 or something. Because if you're thinking about it, if Bianca faces Rhea, she's going to lose. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see like them having Bianca win over Rhea Ripley. Yes, they're both your two dominant stars, and it can go either way, but I don't see Bianca getting the win. And plus, her streak of winning at every single WrestleMania would come to an end, and I want to see that streak continue. So, therefore, don't have her win the Chamber. Ultimately, you have her lose, because you're not going to have her go to Raw, win the championship, and then have to feud with Jade Cargill. Like, no, you're not going to do that. It's going to just make everything kind of convoluted in a sense. So, don't do that. So, I don't think it's going to be Bianca. I do think we're going to get this match between these two at some point, but I don't think it's going to be at WrestleMania. If they wanted it, they should have just had Bianca win the Royal Rumble. I would have been more in favor of her winning over Charlotte. That's just my personal opinion. And then Bianca could have just challenged for Rhea Ripley, and we could have just had a good 3-4 month build for this match instead of it being rushed, because at that point it's going to be 3-4 weeks out from WrestleMania. So you can't do that. Don't do that. So I don't think Bianca's going to ultimately win it this year. Besides, she's already won it before, so.
Mainly because I think Bianca's going to be doing something with Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. Yeah. It just seems obvious. Yes, they have teased Rhea versus Bianca a few times over the years, but it was never anything very substantial. However, they have been teasing Bianca doing something with Jade and or Naomi for months now. I still don't know who attacked Jade. It was either Naomi and Bianca, or just Bianca. It's one of those three options. So I don't know what exactly the Mania match is going to be, but all three women are going to be doing something together. So because of that, I don't think Bianca is going to win. And to top it off, personally, I don't want Bianca to win, because Rhea versus Bianca is a match that needs to main event WrestleMania. It's that big. Rhea and Bianca are two of the biggest stars in the company. And if this match happens now, it's only gonna feel rushed, because again, they haven't done anything of substance to build this feud up. Bianca is, for all intensive purposes, a tag team wrestler. She has been for the past year. And Rhea Ripley has been doing her own thing on Raw, so it just doesn't really make sense. And for a match this big, I would like the build to be a bit more than 2 months. So from
Yeah,
a story perspective, I don't
definitely.
think it's going to happen. But then from a personal perspective, I don't want it to happen either. So I can see Alexa and Liv actually teaming up to take down Bianca, or maybe Jade Cargill interferes and takes out Bianca too. And then we
That's
get to the
possible.
final two, Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan. Now, which of these two is going
Now
to
this
win?
would be a
Here's my
good one.
answer.
This
If
could be
Rhea
a
Ripley
good
versus
final two. This can be a really good final two, having Alexa and Liv, who I feel like right now, I would say they're probably the favorites right now to potentially win, for sure. I mean, we did have Liv eliminate Alexa in the Rumble, so this could be a good callback to that and having those be the final two for sure. I think both women, I feel like, have the better chances of winning. I'll say that. I'll definitely say those two definitely should be deserve to be your final two. And I hope they are your final two.
Io Sky had not been announced to take place on the Raw after Elimination Chamber, I would honestly say Alexa Bliss. Because
Mm-hmm.
Rhea Ripley versus Alexa Bliss is a bigger match.
This would be a good match. The only thing that's betting against it is like Alexa's already kind of doing some stuff on SmackDown where she's potentially going to be joined up with the Wyatt Six. So I guess that's going to be her story. Um, Not to say that she couldn't, potentially be facing Rhea. But the thing is, you have to think of what they have been building for the last, 3, 4 months at this point. They've been building. They've been building Rhea and Io, right? They have been building Rhea and Io. You look at the little standoff that they had where both of them were holding the title. And at the time, Liv Morgan was still the champion. Liv Morgan lost the championship at the first Raw on Netflix. Then we seen Io unsuccessfully be able to qualify to the chamber, right? So maybe this is how they're going to set that up. We're going to see Liv potentially win the chamber. You have her attack maybe Io or cost Io in her match. Then you set that up because then the fans are still going to get what they want, which is still Rhea versus Io, and Io gets her WrestleMania moment because she is in a big marquee match for the World Championship. And then Liv also gets to be on the marquee as well as being in her first big money headlined WrestleMania match. Because at the time of me recording this video, she has not been in a big feud like this yet. She hasn't. She's always been in the tag team, matches and stuff like that, and tag team turmoil and all that stuff. She's never been able to be in a match like this, but with the year that she's had, I think she warrants being in a big spotlight like this for sure. You can't take that away from Liv Morgan with the year that she's had. Like I said before, if you're gonna have a year like that, you're gonna have to capitalize on that and follow up with that and doing something. And if she does win the tag titles, I think it's a possibility she could still win because who's to say that Liv Morgan doesn't hold those championships until going into WrestleMania? Or maybe what they do with Liv is similar to what they've done before. They don't shy away from it. Sometimes they did it last year with Seth, and they did it with what was it? They did it with Seth. They did it with Cody. They did it with Roman. All three of those guys had to pull double duty last year at WrestleMania with the tag match, and then Cody and Roman having the main event, and then Seth and Drew. So they pulled double duty. So who's to say Liv Morgan doesn't do the same thing? And I feel like if anybody was to pull double duty for WrestleMania, I think Liv fits the bill. I really do. I think if anybody's gonna do it, I think Liv Morgan can definitely pull it off. But we're gonna see what he has to say. We're gonna finish this up.
Match than another rematch of Rhea versus Liv. If you're just talking about the marquee of it, Rhea and Alexa is a big deal. It could happen at WrestleMania. But Rhea versus Io is happening on the Raw after Elimination Chamber. And once that was announced, it became very clear to me that Liv Morgan is going to win the Elimination Chamber. And here's why. WWE has done basically
exactly, and that's what he just said it. He just said it too. They've been teasing it for months, and the fact is the match isn't happening at Elimination Chamber. It is happening the Raw after Elimination Chamber. So it kind of just goes in the sense of it makes all the sense in the world storyline and booking wise for Liv to win. It's pretty much in her favor. And I think this will be a good way for her to finally get that win That because I mean she's been in what every single elimination chamber. She was in it last year. She was in it in 2023, 2022. They didn't have one in 2021. I don't think they had one in 2020. She was in that one, and she was in 2019. So she's been in 6, going on 7 elimination chamber matches. She has to win. She has to. She really does have to.
Nothing to set up
She
the
has
fact
the.
that Alexa Bliss
It's on her
may
side.
want to challenge Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Obviously, all wrestlers want titles, so they could keep it just that simple. Alexa wants the title, Rhea has the title, there's your match. But you'd think that they would at least have like a promo segment or something between the two of them leading into this match, just to set up the possibility that we might get Rhea versus Alexa and put those feelers out there to see what the audience thinks. The men's division does that all the time. So because they have done nothing to set that up, similar to Rhea versus Bianca, it just makes me think it's not in the cards. The only story they've been telling with Alexa Bliss is that the Wyatt Six are apparently watching her, so I assume her WrestleMania plans are going to have something to do with the Wyatt Six. And then you look at Liv Morgan, and more specifically, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Io Sky. These 3 women have been circling the women's world title for the past few months. Liv held the title for most of 2024, and we got that forever feud between her and Rhea. But keep in mind, before Rhea took the title from Liv, we got Liv versus Io at Saturday night's main event. And then even on the episode of Raw when Io Sky lost her qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber, it was against Liv Morgan. It seems clear to me now that this is the story that WWE has been setting up for Rhea Ripley, which is why I think Liv Morgan is going to win the Elimination Chamber, and then on Monday Night Raw, cost Io Sky the victory over Rhea Ripley. And the rationale for that is obviously going to be, I don't want Io to take the title off of Rhea. I want to take the title off of Rhea.
That's a good one.
And once that happens, the 3 of them are going to break out into a brawl. They'll probably be feuding for a few weeks. And at some point, Adam Pearce is going to come out and say, we need to put an end to this madness. We're going to settle this at WrestleMania in a triple threat. Liv Morgan won the Elimination Chamber, so she's earned her right to face Rhea at WrestleMania. But Io Sky has been screwed over multiple times now, so I think Adam Pearce is going to say that she has also earned the right to face Rhea at WrestleMania. The more I think about it, this seems like the way they're going to go. And honestly, I love it, because when I look at the Rhea versus Liv feud, it was the defining feud for the women's division in 2024. And honestly, I think WWE always wanted that feud to end at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they just...
Yeah, it was even penciled in the lead up to I want to say the Raw Netflix. It was penciled in that they wanted these 2 at WrestleMania. They want Rhea and Liv for the championship at WrestleMania. So I'm telling you, don't be surprised if Liv wins the chamber and we get a triple threat, or either we get Liv, Rhea straight up 1-on-1. Don't be surprised if we get either one of those outcomes taking place.
Weren't able to keep that feud interesting.
Yeah.
They tried their best by adding in all these little pit stops between their title matches, such as the tag match at Bash in Berlin, or the Women's War Games match, or Liv versus Io at Saturday night's main event. But I always thought that Rhea beating Liv at the Raw Netflix debut was an underwhelming way to end this feud, because at the end of the day, it was just a TV match. And when you look at the work that Liv Morgan has done over the past year, she's clearly elevated herself to be a main event star. So her and Raquel just going after the tag titles at WrestleMania, or even Liv Morgan going after the women's IC title, just feels a little bit underwhelming. I was super hyped to see Rhea versus Io, but honestly, I think this triple threat idea might be better. By adding Liv into the mix, it just creates an awesome dynamic of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Io Sky is the Daniel Bryan-esque fan favorite who everyone is just totally behind. Liv Morgan is the absolutely despised heel who's getting all the boos. The fans don't even want her in the match. I'm sure a lot of you watching now hate that I'm saying that Liv Morgan should be in the match at Mania, but that's the point. And then you have Rhea Ripley, who's not necessarily all good or all bad. She's kind of the tweener. I just think it makes for an awesome dynamic and kind of serves everyone well. After being left off the WrestleMania 40 card, Liv Morgan finally gets a big WrestleMania moment. WWE is able to give the Rhea versus Liv feud that big blow-off match at WrestleMania.
You're accomplishing many things. One, it helps elevate Liv to an even bigger status because she's in a big role like this. And it kind of would be a way of thanking her for everything that she has done, even though she was champion. But their way of making it up to her for leaving her off the WrestleMania card last year. So I think doing this would be a good thing for her. You're accomplishing the ending of the Rhea and Liv feud, and you're also giving Io her moment as well. So you're accomplishing many things, so everybody wins. So why not? And then maybe after this, depending on if Liv or Io does win, or if Rhea retains, we'll see how that goes. But then, if we are going to get a draft, this would be a good way for Liv to maybe switch brands. Maybe she goes to SmackDown, and that's a new, fresh start for her. I think her versus Charlotte is probably going to be the match at SummerSlam this year because it is in her hometown. You're going to want a big name or big household name from the city. So why not her winning? Maybe if they are going to do King and Queen of the Ring again this year, hopefully, maybe she does win that, and that's how you set up her going after that title. We will see it. But it seems like it's going to be an interesting couple months for Liv. I really think it's going to be an interesting couple months. Hopefully, I am proven right and they don't prove me wrong. But we will see. But let's continue.
The twist, and then Io Sky gets involved, who again is clearly the fan favorite here. I think it's a great business decision. It gives all three women prominent spots on the WrestleMania card, and it just makes everything more interesting. But that's it. That's how I would book the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Liv Morgan wins the Chamber to face Rhea Ripley and Io Sky in a triple threat at WrestleMania. Bianca and Naomi do something with Jade Cargill. Bayley and Roxanne Perez are probably going to do something with the Women's IC title. I'm thinking that's going to be more of a ladder match now that it doesn't look like Becky Lynch is in the WrestleMania plans. And then Alexa Bliss can do something with the Wyatt Six, whatever that is. What do you think, though? Is Liv Morgan winning the Elimination Chamber the right call?
This was a good video. This was definitely a good video. Okay, I gave it a like already. Okay, I was making sure I gave it a like. But definitely, I think he made a lot of good points as far as how he will go about booking and this match and the breakdown of it and what it could potentially lead to. So definitely. But comment down below, let me know, like I said earlier in the video, who do you guys think is winning the Elimination Chamber match this year for the women? Super kick that like button, helps my channel get pushed across the platform. Superman punch that post notification bell and speed the subscribe button. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. The ultimate goal is 10K by the end of 2025. So let's make it happen as a wrestling community, as a wrestling family. But also subscribe to my guy, Wrestling Wrestle Talks. Go subscribe to him. Let him know Kicking It with Leo sent ya. But with that being said, hope everyone has a great day, great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.